So I finally got around to watching Birds of Prey. I didn't go to the theaters to see it. It just didn't look that good to me. But I figured, heck, it's on Amazon now. They had it for $10. Why not? Okay. So Birds of Prey is a DCEU film produced by Margot Robbie, directed by Kathy Yan, written by Christina Hodson. So let me start with the good stuff. All right. Movie actually looks very nice. It's very colorful. I like the color in the picture. It doesn't look drab and colorless like some of the other movies, and I like that. I like that. The camera work was pretty good. It was nothing special, but for me, I just like movies, man, where I can see what's going on. I don't like people going crazy with the camera, shaky cam, and all that. So if I can see what's going on, that's great to me. It's a lot of action in the movie. You don't have to worry about being bored. Um, I actually liked Margot Robbie's performance. I like her. So if you're a fan of her, you might want to check it out. I like some of the other female actors as well. Okay, I feel that Journey Smollett Bell did a very good job. I've never seen her in anything before. I liked her very much. It's nice to see a movie that centers around female characters. I think a lot of people seem to have this weird idea that somehow a lot of men don't like female characters, and it's not the case. We just want the movie has to be good. So I like that, man. I think you had some scenes with some good mute background music playing. Now, honestly, though, I have to say that's probably all the good stuff that I can think of. Most of my opinions of this movie are probably bad. First of all, I think they made a mistake making it Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. I think it should have been either or. Either a Harley Quinn movie dealing with characters that she's more closely connected to in the comic books, or a Birds of Prey picture. Not both. Okay. You essentially tried to do a origin story for the Birds of Prey wrapped up in a Harley Quinn movie, and I think that was a mistake. I think it should have been either or, because problem with that is so much time was spent on the Harley Quinn character. They really didn't have that much time to develop these characters or show anything about them. You got like tiny little brief bios of the characters. Man, that's not really all that interesting to me. Um, if we actually would have did a Birds of Prey movie, I would like to have actually seen more of their lives and what happened and how they started doing what they was doing. Okay, so it should have been either or, in my opinion. Watching the movie, I'm a little confused by who the target audience was. Okay, all these characters are comic book characters, but like, let's take the Birds of Prey characters. I honestly did not know who half these actors were supposed to be until they just blatantly said it. That, oh yeah, this is Black Canary. Hey, this is so and so. None of them really looked like the characters they were supposed to be portraying in the comic books. If you're trying to get the comic book fans to come out and watch it, I think that was a mistake. Now, I heard someone say, "Oh well, they want to go in a different direction and they didn't want the women to look over sexualized or whatever." You don't have to make the characters look over sexualized to make them look more comic book accurate. Pretty much any comic book character has multiple versions of their costume. You could have dressed them and not had them walking around looking like streetwalkers, but still had something close to the comic books where you knew who these characters are supposed to be. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of the Birds of Prey comic book, but I know what the characters look like. And when I first saw this movie being promoted, I'm like, who are these chicks supposed to be? They look like some people from Walmart walking around Walmart or something, okay? I think that was a mistake, man. I think that was a big mistake. I think also the movie really should have had the Joker in it. If the whole one of the biggest key things about the film is her breaking up with the Joker, he's really not in the movie. I think they showed some little tiny little scenes there with some computer graphics or something, or another actor or something. I feel like the Joker should have been in the movie, and if what's his face, the guy playing the Joker at that time, was not Jared Leto was not available. Okay, fine, get a lookalike. Okay, get a lookalike. I don't know if there was an issue from a contract problem, but there would have been a problem getting someone who looked like him from a contract standpoint with him. But that's what that's what should have happened. I feel like the Joker should have been in this movie, okay, or had more parts in this movie. You know, the biggest problem with this movie, in my opinion, is the script. The script really just wasn't all that interesting. It wasn't that engrossing. You just really didn't care about it. And it's odd because Christina Hodson, I think, wrote the Bumblebee movie. Actually, I like that movie. Personally, I feel like that actually was the best Transformers movie. And I'm not a big fan. Yeah, she wrote Bumblebee. I'm not a big fan of the Transformer movies. I'll tell you that. I love the cartoons, some of the different cartoon series. I grew up watching the original cartoon and the original Marvel comics, and a lot of the IDW stuff. But here, the script here was just really uninteresting, in my opinion. You know, they need to really have spent way more time on the script, doing a lot better with it. I mean, the basic things in the script is Harley Quinn is breaking up with the Joker, and now, since she broke up with the Joker, everybody who hated her is going to come after her now because the Joker was protecting her. Okay, that's fine. But now you also have this situation where you've got the main villain here. I think his name was Roman Sionis. Okay, he's supposed to be playing a character named Black Mask in the Batman comics. Okay, basically there's some diamond he's after, and it's supposed to have some account information or something on it. So he's trying to get this. He's trying to get this diamond so he can get that information and get this money off of it or whatever. I don't know. It just wasn't interesting to me enough for me to really care about it, to be honest. And I think that was the biggest problem. The biggest problem in this movie was the script. They should have spent way more time going over the script, trying to get it right. Okay. Roman Sionis. His character was just uninteresting to me. He didn't really have anything interesting to do. He's supposed to be black, this guy named Black Mask, but he only puts the black mask on in like the last 4 or 5 minutes of the movie. And I think this movie suffered from too many characters, okay? It should have just been Harley Quinn and Roman Sionis, Black Mask. He should have had his mask on more, and they should have developed their relationship as to why he hates her, you know what I'm saying? Okay, but I think it was too many characters going on here. And they wasted this guy. They wasted this villain. He's supposed to be a very popular Batman villain, and he just was wasted, in my opinion. I know some people had a problem with the fighting scenes. To me, they really didn't bother me. They weren't horrible. They weren't horrible. I thought the fighting was actually serviceable. It wasn't the best fighting ever. But, I mean, I think they did a good enough job. And it's a comic book movie. I didn't expect total realism. I didn't expect these actors to look like they were martial arts stars. But I think they did well enough. You know. But like I said, the biggest issue is the script. It's the script. The main villain just being played underutilized, being horrible. I think they also tried to go with I heard the movie was supposed to be about feminism or something like that. And one of the things I don't like in the movie is that all of the male characters are bad. I don't recall there being one good male character. Which, I mean, it wasn't a huge issue. But, come on. You could have at least one or two good male characters. They made that part of the marketing, which was a bad idea in my opinion. Because honestly, when they was saying all the stuff, it was about, it's about sexism and about feminism and stuff. That's one of the main reasons why I did not want to go see this movie. Because when I go watch a movie, man, I want to be entertained. I don't really want to hear anything about sexism or feminism. So I might have actually going to go see this movie. Because those aspects of the movie weren't as bad as people were saying. But, horrible marketing. The movie had horrible marketing. I feel like some scenes in this picture weren't really well thought out. Some of the scenes where Harley Quinn takes a grenade launcher or something, type weapon, she goes into a police station and she shoots all of them up. Now, actually, it was a funny scene. I liked it. But I kept thinking, wait a minute. She's shooting all these police officers, and not one of these guys is shooting back. They're just sitting there, getting shot. So you got she shoots 10, 12 guys. Not one person shoots back. And I think, honestly, man, not to attack the director, but I feel like a better director would have said, hey, wait a minute. You're shooting 20 people, okay? Let me let Harley Quinn go in there and she'll shoot the first 3 or 4 guys and they'll be shocked and surprised. But then, another group of guys will come there and they'll be ready for her. They'll start shooting at her. So she'll duck behind a wall, bust out, come back out, shoot another guy too. Somebody else shooting at her. She jumps back behind. She ducks under some, shoots some other people. You know what I'm saying? Make it look more. I mean, I guess I don't want to say realistic to a comic book movie, but it looked really took me out of it. The fact that these dudes, she's just going around shooting everybody and nobody actually like fires back. Oh my God! It's a crazy chick with a white chick with a weapon. It's like I don't know. That was weird to me. Another thing I thought was kind of funny, not film breaking, but when she goes to the prison or the jail, she's breaking out this young girl. Okay, they have this young girl in jail with grown men, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that how is that how jail works? That you put little girls, little 12, 13-year-old girls in there with 30, 40-year-old men? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, maybe that's how real prison works, real jail works or something. I would think that you would not throw little girls in there, 12-year-old girls, 13-year-old girls in there with 30, 40-year-old men in the same holding area. I don't know. Like I said, it's something that took me out of the movie. So I'm looking at it, it's like, wait a minute, what? I don't know. It's just little things like that. I feel like a better director would have demanded a better script, and I would have said, hey, you know what? Some of these scenes need to be reworked. They don't really make sense. Okay. There were other things in the movie that I thought didn't make sense. You have one scene where Harley Quinn beats up a bunch of dudes, which, okay, fine. Harley Quinn is crazy. She's not a normal woman. She has that adrenaline going. So, who knows? Maybe she's a drug addict. Who knows? But she's not a normal chick. She beats up these guys. But later on, she's fighting Montoya, who's a woman, who's a much older woman than her. It looks like maybe the actor looks like she's her late 40s, early 50s, whatever. Now, she's struggling to beat Montoya. Montoya's drunk, by the way, at the point, and Harley Quinn says, hey, are you drunk? Maybe, or something. Now, you're telling me she's struggling to beat this one woman, but she just beat up 6 or 7, multiple guys, okay? Just little things like that I found funny to me. It just took me out the movie. And like I said, just didn't make sense. One thing I did when I watched this movie, I wanted to do a little experiment, okay? So I actually got my mother and one of my sisters to sit up and watch the movie with me because I want to see how maybe a female audience would take this movie, okay? Because I know there was a big thing about this movie where people were saying if you didn't like it, it was just because of sexism. Sexism, you don't want women in Hollywood, women to have movies and stuff. And both of them hated it. They actually said it was the worst movie they had ever seen in their life, which honestly, I didn't hate it as much, okay? It wasn't a great movie, but I don't think it was just the worst movie ever. But let's put it this way. I'm glad I did not go out to the theaters to see it. It was worth about $10. They hated the movie. They actually pointed out more stuff with the script that did make sense than I did, which was interesting to me. Okay. I think my mother kept falling asleep on it. And my mother doesn't fall asleep on anything. She can watch pretty much any movie, no matter how bad it is. They hated the picture. So I don't know, man. I just feel like this movie needed way more work. And it's actually kind of sad because when I watch this movie, I see potential there. Okay. I see potential for what could have been a better Harley Quinn movie, but I also see a lot of potential for which could have been a Birds of Prey movie. I actually would like to see a Birds of Prey movie now, a good Birds of Prey movie. And they actually lost a lot of potential with this movie. Now, Harley Quinn, she's a popular character, and I think they can go out there and at some point do a Harley Quinn movie. People will go see it. If you made a Birds of Prey movie now, I don't think anybody would go see it. Okay. And it's unfortunate. I don't even think Harley Quinn was really utilized correctly in this movie. They had her doing a lot of wacky, goofy stuff, but it's kind of like she's doing wacky, goofy stuff, but it doesn't really play into the script, in my opinion. I don't know, man. I just feel like she could have been used better. The Birds of Prey characters definitely could have been used better. And like I said, I don't get who the movie was made for, because there was a lot of things there that the actual comic book fan of Birds of Prey would not have liked. They didn't look like the characters. You changed the race of a character, I think. One of the main characters from the comic book, one of the founding members, I think was Barbara Gordon. Don't quote me on that because I haven't read that comic book in years. I haven't read it in years, but she's not even in the movie, which was an odd thing to do. So I don't know. And on top of it, I think this movie was rated R, which honestly I don't really think it needed to be rated R. A lot of Harley Quinn's biggest fans are probably young girls, which I'm assuming they probably couldn't even go and see the movie. So I don't know, man. I look at this movie and I didn't hate it. What I see in this movie, I see a lot of lost potential. I see something that could have been a great movie. But there's a problem now with Hollywood where they're making movies and they're honestly making subpar films. And instead of just taking the time to make a good movie, for whatever reason, I don't know, man. It's just not coming out there. Like, I don't think it's that hard to make a good movie. I'm sorry. At least the script, okay? I don't think it should be that hard to write a good script, okay? And they're blaming the audience. They're blaming men. They're blaming women. But you just didn't make a good movie. So, man, just my thoughts. Not a horrible movie. Not the worst movie ever, okay? But honestly, I wouldn't go out to the theaters to see it. And I would say you could rent it or something like that. If you really are interested in a big Margot Robbie fan, I would say just rent it or something like that, or just buy it when it's like $5 or $10. I bought it for $10. Honestly, I probably should have waited till it was $5. I don't know, just my thoughts, man. But they have to do better. And I think this director is not all that experienced. She did one or two films. And they said, hey, I think Margot Robbie wanted a female director, which I don't really have a problem with. But I think instead of focusing on whether the director is female or not, you need to focus on whether the director is a good director, okay? I don't like this idea that I'm seeing now that, well, the director, it's a movie focusing on black characters, has to have a black director. If it's a movie, I guess, so what now? If we have a movie about a Mexican family, a Mexican dude has to write the script. I mean, nothing is wrong with want to diversify and offer more jobs and opportunities to people, different people. But I think the main focus should always be making a good quality product. And that's the problem. So, I mean, just my thoughts. But this movie is nothing to write home about.